Hi, my name is Jamie Winship. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I'm talking about my experience with creativity and the creative process. So in these short video clips, we're talking about the creative process, how it works in humans, and I'm saying that I believe all humans are creative and should be co-creators with God in our highest true self. That's the normal, and yet we get distracted and it doesn't happen, and we get repetitive and we get in compulsive repetition in our lives. And so what is the creative process? How do we stay in that creative process? And I'm suggesting that Jesus, at the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, when he walks through the Beatitudes, he is in fact telling us the process of creativity. And then as he finishes the Beatitudes, and he goes in to explain, this is what creators look like in the world. They pray differently than someone that's praying for the wrong motivation. They fast differently than someone that just wants attention for themselves. And then they can transform an entire system of humanity by constantly creating and being transformed, as Paul said, by the renewing of their mind. So I would just walk through the Beatitudes as the creative process. And so I just want to give an example. And it's so once you have worked through this a few times, and maybe you listen to these different clips a few times, look at it in the scripture. I mean, I'm doing them in just really 4 or 5 minutes each one, but you could spend a whole day on each one. What does it mean to be empty before God? What does it mean? Blessed are the poor in spirit. What does it mean to be empty before God? Because those are the people to whom who receive the kingdom. And so any part of creativity begins with emptiness. So you can walk all the way through this, but what you'll see is no matter what creative process you're in, and it's really fascinating, even if you're not a Christian, this is for humans. This is not a Christian thing. This is for humanity. Jesus isn't up there talking to a bunch of Christians. He's talking to people that are out there, and he's speaking to them, and he's saying, here's the value of being empty, here's the value of being poor in spirit, because you can receive the kingdom, because there's nothing blocking it. And so, what if I'm not poor in spirit? We need to get poor. We need to get there. That's the beginning of the process, so you can walk all the way through it. What you'll find is that if you talk to people or read books on documentation of creative people, and you'll see this process. They may combine steps, but it's still what they're doing. It's so fascinating. So let me just give you an example. I can do it about writing a book. I'm having a quiet time, walking around the lake near our house, and I'm emptying. I'm self-emptying, like Jesus in Philippians doesn't consider heaven to be grass. He empties himself. I'm doing that. Lord, is there anything in me that's blocking me from receiving from you? Whatever that is, exchange it. Okay, what is it that you want me to mourn for and long for? And the idea comes to my mind. I want you to long for writing a book. Like, there it is. It's nice and it's not like abstract to me. It's like, well, that makes sense in my identity that I would write. So there it is. I want you to long for it. I want you to yearn for it. I want you to every day, like, we got to write this book. It's deep in me. It needs to come out. And Jesus is saying, and I will comfort you there. I will comfort you in that process. And so there it is. Empty. Now, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And then, okay, write the book. Okay, write the book. Okay, so that means that I can't be distracted by this and that. So my passion and my drive has to be focused on this. And this is called meekness. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the publication of the book, the writing of the book. They shall inherit the earth, They shall inherit that. And so what passions, I don't like to get up early, or, what things distract me from writing the book that I now yearn for. Those are brought into line with the help of the Spirit, and I become meek and domesticated towards that focus, towards that goal. And so, then I start to hunger and thirst for it. To hunger and thirst, because what's right, what's as it ought to be righteous, is that this is done. right? Obedience is better than sacrifice. And so now I start to hunger. God, give me a hunger every day and a thirst for this book, for the birth of this book, this idea, this thing to come to life. And the promise is that if you hunger and thirst for righteousness, you shall be filled every day. But like manna, not like for here you're filled in now the 2 years of writing the book or whatever. But each day, get up each day. We're gonna empty. We're gonna mourn. And then we're gonna hunger, and God's gonna fill us. And the ideas are gonna come, and we're gonna work through them. And so there's a filling, and then there's a collaborating that starts to go on, because writing a book involves other people and research. And so then this amazing thing called mercy is involved. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. You start to collaborate, and you extend mercy to yourself, to the ideas, to the people around you, and the mercy keeps the flow open. It's really fascinating. Like, have mercy, take it easy, enjoy this thing. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. And so you have this going on. So it's just building, and then at this level, then you're so single-minded. There's nothing diluting the vision. You're pure in heart. This is what I'm doing. This one thing I do, to lay hold of that for which Christ laid hold of me. Blessed are the pure in heart, because the pure in heart can see God. Now in the process, wherever I am in the process, I can see God. I can see where God's moving. It's like, if you're a writer, and you're especially if you're writing fiction and you have your characters, you don't know what those characters are going to do. You're watching them, and then you can see God in it. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they can see God. So I can see God in the writing process and the theme of the book, and it's changing directions, but I am following God in it, because my heart is pure, and I'm yearning, and I'm hungering, and I'm empty of my own agenda and what do people want to read, and like that. And then it's filling me with peace. The whole process it's like this incredible desire and hunger to see something happen, and yet I'm at peace. I'm not resting from work. I'm working from rest, from peace. And it's producing peace. I'm just collaborating on a section today with another writer. And there's peace between us, because we have mercy towards each other, and she has different ideas than me, and we're collaborating, and there's mercy and peace. But we can see God in what we're doing. And she would not call herself a Christian, but we know what's happening. She can see God, and I can see God, and it brings peace. It's producing peace in us, and we know the product will produce peace. And that's what children of God do. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And now, in the process, when we go to sell, or we go to, take it to the critique, whoever, it kind of doesn't matter what they say. It kind of doesn't matter if they say, this is the worst thing we've ever read, or go back and rewrite the whole thing. It doesn't matter. We're sort of beyond that. We're not afraid. And even if, like, what if this just doesn't ever take off? Like, what if it fails or doesn't succeed? It doesn't matter. That's not what it's about. It's we're giving birth from something from within us that God has put there. And so, will it go? It'll definitely go. Will it be published? Yes, it will. Will it have impact? Absolutely. We're beyond being worried about that kind of thing. We're past it. Blessed are the persecuted, for theirs is the kingdom. God, we're all the way back to the kingdom. And so that process is what we're doing. We've done it. And the book that I began to yearn for was purchased by a significant publishing house a couple of weeks ago. So there it is. There's the creative process, all in the words of Jesus, all in Matthew. And I just encourage you each day to work through those levels and create. Go create.